happy you're all here. It's such a delight to see people that believe in the work we do. It's going to be a great morning. My name is Jessica Hoff-Burzak. I am the president of Upholdings, and on behalf of the Upholdings team, who's back in the kitchen, and Self-Help Enterprises, our partner in this project, it is such an honor to welcome you to Butterfly Gardens. Butterfly Gardens is 75 units, new construction, obviously, units, and it represents the first permanent supportive housing development here in the wonderful city of Clovis. I was counting up this morning, I think this is maybe the 7th or 8th time that we've been fortunate to be the first in various cities throughout this country, and I can assure you that it works. You'll be proud of us down the road, I promise. Each unit here is about 675 square feet, all one-bedroom units. Each unit has a full kitchen, bathroom, living room, outdoor patio area, beautifully designed by our architects at R.L. Davidson. All the units come fully furnished, and thanks to many community partners, we also give every tenant a welcome home kit. On-site amenities here include a fitness room, computers, on-site laundry, this beautiful community room, and numerous offices and small group rooms. As I mentioned, this project was developed by our firm, Upholdings, in partnership with the Epic Self-Help Enterprises in response to epic, enormous need in our community. Upholdings was originally selected by the County of Fresno in 2019 as a qualified supportive housing developer, but that was after years of brainstorming and collaborating on what quality supportive housing could look like. I remember sitting with Susan a long time ago, talking about some of our experiences in other states, some things that work, some things that don't work, and really going to the drawing board and saying, how can we do this? How can we serve the people that you serve? And here we are today. Permanent supportive housing is a nationally recognized best practice for addressing homelessness. If you would ask me, it's the only way to deal with homelessness. Using the Housing First model, Butterfly combines permanently affordable housing with services that help people who face really complex challenges live with stability, autonomy, and dignity. Services here will include rehabilitation counseling, healthcare referrals, job training opportunities, and educational classes. I saw there's a calendar on the bulletin board right behind Ryan in the back, and we're only 40% occupied, and they've got 2 and 3 classes sometimes a day. At Upholdings, we say often and we firmly believe that housing is a human right, but we know that our ability to keep doing this work must exceed simply our heart's desires, and we have to ensure positive outcomes. And so I can promise you, supportive housing is successful. Supportive housing improves stability, employment, mental and physical health, reduces active substance abuse. People in supportive housing simply live more stable and productive lives. Second, supportive housing is cost effective. Hear me on this. Supportive housing saves significant money to many, many public institutions while using no more and often fewer resources in return for significantly better results. Third, supportive housing is beneficial. Supportive housing helps build strong, healthy communities by improving the safety of neighborhoods, beautifying city blocks with new properties, and is proven to increase or stabilize property values over time. We actually just did a deep dive into some Zillow data and looked at some of our 10, 15-year-old projects and saw, despite normal trends in the markets, we saw significant bumps in the comps of single-family homes and condos surrounding similar new construction deals. So I can testify that's actually true. Here at Butterfly, we are committed to some core outcomes, and that is that our tenants will stay housed. Our tenants will have social and community connections. They will improve their physical and their mental health. Tenants will increase their income and their employment, and tenants, most of all, will be satisfied with their housing and their services. This project began in May of 2021, and thanks to a brilliant contractor, BJ Perch, and our architects and the rest of the team, I'm happy to say we finished on time, on budget. We will be fully leased by the end of the year. This has been a challenging time in the markets, the supply chains, all the things you guys read about in the news are very real. And so we're really proud of our team that worked here diligently day in and day out to make sure we were on time. The units here are filled partially from referrals directly from our friends at the county's Department of Behavioral Health, which is new and an innovative approach that we're working on together, and then half through our county's coordinated entry system. A lot of people involved in getting people the resources both prior to being here and then once they're in. I'm looking around and seeing so many faces nodding who have been part of this already to this moment. The Fresno Madera 2022 point in time count, which is an attempt at counting our homelessness, reported 4,216 people experiencing homelessness this year. In the industry, we all know that number to be grossly understated. This is only 75 units. So we obviously have a long way to go, and that's why we're here today, is to make sure you see the benefits of collaboration like this so we can just keep on going and do more. We're thankful to Exodus Recovery Services, who was selected under a competitive contract process to be our actual on-site partner here. We're in the baby stages of operations, but even through lease-up, I can say Exodus is going to be an excellent partner. And with that, I'm going to introduce my wonderful partner, Tom Collishaw from Self-Help Enterprises. And then we have a number of speakers here today, and we'll come back at the end for the actual ribbon ceremony. Thanks again for being here.
Thanks, Jessica. Yeah, Self-Help, we're just thrilled to be here and to be a partner on this great project. It's so needed, and I just wanted to spend a minute to just commend the city of Clovis for their leadership in this process. We've had a deep relationship with the city of Clovis dating back over 35 years now, when we initially started working with the then redevelopment agency to develop single-family housing opportunities with families building their own homes. We ended up doing over 100 homes in that program, and more recently we're working closely with the city on their accessory dwelling unit program, as well as doing now single-family housing rehab. So we feel like we've had a long relationship. There's been great leaders at the city for that period of time and a commitment to trying to get housing projects done. We're kind of the newbie to this world of permanent supportive housing, and that's why it was so important for us to partner with a great group like Upholdings, who have really deep experience in working with these populations. We're doing more and more of this work. We're still best known for our work in rural towns and working with farm workers and working poor, but we recognize that the problems of the unhoused in the San Joaquin Valley in this region have become so pronounced that we had to figure out where we could play a role. So again, we're thrilled to be part of this partnership to provide these great opportunities in this city. And it does take a village to build a village. It absolutely does, and the County of Fresno is key here. The Housing and Community Development, the state program, the No Place Like Home program, is instrumental in making this kind of a project work. And HCD, as they're known to us in the housing world, are really the cornerstone of just about any project we do these days. They have made a significant commitment to housing, not just the unhoused, but other working and other poor folks in the state. One other connection I need to make is that we have a volunteer board of directors, and one of our great members is here, Tina Sumner, who, say hello, Tina. Tina, actually for me, she was one of the first people I met at the city of Clovis, who was working with their redevelopment programs and retired recently, and we put her back to work on our board of directors, and we're very happy to have her and her leadership. So I will end with just saying, again, the only thing that really distinguishes the people that are going to live at Butterfly Gardens from the rest of our population is an opportunity. And this creates an opportunity for them to get the kinds of nurturing, support that they need to get back on their feet, to look to a future that's much brighter. And so it's about those opportunities and creating those opportunities. That's what we're about as Self-Help Enterprises. That's what Upholdings is about, and that's what Butterfly Gardens is about. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. With that, I want to introduce Patty Fado from the Housing and Community Development Department of California. I said that a little backwards. I always have to put in a plug to make sure you vote. And the reason I say that is because this project exists because of the No Place Like Home program, which I think is the best supportive housing program I've ever seen in the country. And it was only made possible through our votes. And so we all need to keep voting for programs like that. So welcome, Patty.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me to speak today.
Wow.
That's all I'm going to say as I came here. Full disclosure, born and raised in Fresno, sister lived in Clovis, teacher, love this area. So proud of Clovis for showing us the way. Really fantastic. And my name is Patty Fado, and I work on the homelessness projects for the state of California. HCD, we call it. I'm thrilled to be here for the ribbon cutting ceremony. Clovis is showing us the way, the first permanent supportive housing development in the city of Clovis. We're thrilled with it. A fundamental part of HCD is to ensure that there's a roof over the residents' heads, to ensure there's a safe community to live in so that everyone equally can take care of their family and to thrive. Our statewide, for HCD, our statewide housing plan, we have identified the need for 2.5 million new housing units by 2030. Just take that in. This is a crisis. As the nation continues to deal with this unprecedented housing crisis, we in California, we're leading the way. We have innovative programs that support and protect our most vulnerable residents. One such program is No Place Like Home, one that I love. And we provide for the development of permanent supportive housing for persons living with serious mental illnesses who are experiencing or at risk of experiencing homelessness. Since 2019, we call it NPLH, No Place Like Home. We have awarded over $1.9 billion, 135 projects, and are expected to create more than 7,900 housing units. We're very proud of that. And today, before you clap, today we celebrate one of those projects right here that we're very excited about. We are honored to be a partner of Butterfly Gardens, and by funding $9 million for this project. With this project, we are much closer to solving the housing issues and for providing stability for those, a roof over their heads. But the success of these programs, they rely on partnerships, such as the County of Fresno, the City of Clovis, Upholdings, Step Up, and others that say yes to housing. Without our local partners, NPLH programs, and all of our efforts just simply would not work. So thank you all. Many hours of collaboration went into this. Individuals have worked hard to make this a success. That's why we at HCD work hard to see projects like this come to fruition. On behalf of the administration, and more specifically, my team at HCD, congratulations and thank you for inviting us to participate in this celebration.
Thank you so much, Patty. We were going to have Treasurer Fiona Ma here, another side of the state that's a critical funding partner. Unfortunately, she's sick. But we are so thankful to the California Tax Credit Allocation Committee as well as the California Debt Limit Allocation Committee, two departments she oversees that are critical funding partners. And another critical funding partner for us in actually many ways, operational, capital, and services has been the County of Fresno. And so with that, I'd like to welcome Supervisor Nathan Magsig.
Thank you, and welcome. I'm excited to be here today because I spent about 4 years of my life growing up just right down the street. And as I spent time running and exercising around this area, I always wondered what was going to happen at this place and how this particular lot would be developed. And little did I know that one day we would have housing units that would be here that are changing lives. I really need to spend a little bit more time giving credit to the city of Clovis, because over the years the city of Clovis sometimes receives a lot of criticism for different reasons. But Clovis was really forward-thinking in all of this, and Tina Sumner's name has been mentioned already, but Andy Hausler is here as well, and there are other members from the Clovis team who all have been very interested in trying to find places where we can build permanent supportive housing units, and here we are today at a ribbon cutting. I appreciate the council as well, because staff is only as good as the councils that are in place, or boards of supervisors, and if you don't have policymakers that believe in these types of things, they never happen. And for those of you who had an opportunity to take a look at the press release today, I would draw your attention to the bottom of that press release to take a look at all the different partners who are here. I want to highlight just briefly some of the partners with the County of Fresno. You've heard the Department of Behavioral Health, our Department of Public Health as well, and Department of Social Services were heavily involved in this process. One other person from the county that I need to give tremendous credit to as well is Sonia De La Rosa. And the reason that I want to do that today is Sonia is the point person for the county when it comes to homeless issues, when it comes to housing issues, and she's been working very diligently really for the last, I would say, about 5 years, trying to find ways where we can operate more efficiently. And we need to be thinking about all aspects of housing, all aspects of individuals who are homeless, what kind of services they need, how can we meet them right where they're at so we can make sure that we can make our community better. And Sonia has made us better at the County of Fresno, and I just want to say thank you to Sonia De La Rosa. A couple of my partners, I would say, because in Clovis is very special to me. I had the pleasure of serving here in the community for about 16 years, but I want to recognize Mayor Pro-Tem Lynn Ashbeck, who is here to my right, and my good friend Vaughn Manatua, who's a council member who's in the back, and I believe that Jose Flores may be here in a little bit as well. The Department of Behavioral Health since 2011 has been involved in funding roughly 652 housing units. And the reason that I wanted to share this statistic today is while we're here celebrating 75 supportive housing units, I want you to know that right now there are many additional units that will be coming online soon, and it's the forward thinking that Susan Holt, of course, with the Department of Behavioral Health, her forward thinking, as well as many staff who work for the County of Fresno that make things like this happen. So again, I'm excited to be here today to cut this ribbon with all of you, and at this time I would like to ask Susan to come forward. She has a few things that she's going to share from the Department of Behavioral Health.
Okay, I'm so excited to see so many people. So a couple of themes so far I've heard. Can I just take this out because it's going to fall? Ooh.
Yes. Whatever you want.
I have a really big voice, even though I have a very small stature. Can you all hear me all right?
Yeah.
All right. So a theme that I heard was a lot of celebrating and excitement. That was one theme. So there's nothing more that gets me excited than getting a little celebratory volume in the room. Could you all join me on the count of 3 in a little whoop whoop? 1, 2, 3. Whoop whoop! Come on, people. We can do really well. 1, 2, 3. Whoop whoop! Dare I do it again? 1, 2, 3. That is the enthusiasm that this property deserves. I remember clearly Jessica sitting in the office of Dewan Utek, the former director of behavioral health, and inspiring us to think differently than we had thought about permanent supportive housing. As a matter of fact, Jessica is the person who taught me the language of service-enriched housing. And that is the beauty of this property, is that the housing exists in an enriched environment of services. The other theme that I heard today when speakers were talking is relationships. Nothing happens in a vacuum. There are silos, right? There's healthcare, there's housing, but we bridge those silos with relationships. And the most important relationship is the tenant and their service providers, because it is the service-enriched housing that makes it successful for those who have the most complex needs and the most barriers to stability. So with that, I wanted to talk a little bit about what that looks like. When the people we serve have very complex needs, sometimes our system is perceived as even more complex, right? You have to figure out how to get to some office somewhere that you've never been. You have to have all these different people talk to you, and you have to tell your story over and over to different people. And getting to those services is challenging. And with service-enriched housing, we come to you. The services are available on site. Jessica mentioned offices, and so we have service providers here all through the week, and the individuals are the greatest partner, and we partner with them to determine, based on their needs and preferences, what services they will participate in. So to me, that's the beauty. That's really the celebration. We can say whoop whoop all day long, and I'm a big fan of that, and I love to celebrate. It's a big party today. But I really want to use our celebratory spirit to honor and uplift the tenants of Butterfly Gardens, because this is the housing that is worthy of them. And I'm just really grateful to be here with all of you to celebrate the people we serve in my hometown, the city of Clovis. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our next speaker, because I'm going to get a little choked up talking about the people we serve. Those of you who've known me before know that this is a passion. In the Department of Behavioral Health, raise your hand if you're from DBH. And our partners with Exodus, raise your hand, serving them. This is a life's work for us, and so being here to celebrate those services that we deliver is just a sincere honor. So thank you for joining me in a little whoop whoop to celebrate the people we serve. Turning it over to the next speaker.
I'd like to welcome Mayor Pro-Tem of the wonderful city of Clovis, Lynn Ashbeck. Lynn has been an excellent partner. I've been talking with her about homelessness since I moved back to the Valley, my hometown, almost 10 years ago. So we're so honored to have her here this morning.
I also get emotional about this. I'll be crying by the time we're done. Thank you for all the kind words about the city of Clovis. I think we as a city believe the only reason local government exists is to remove barriers and make opportunities real for people. So if we've done that well in this process, we are grateful, and we will continue to get better at that. So thank you for all those kind words, Nathan and others, that Jessica and all of you that have been cheerleading for me back home. You can move back here, you know, anytime. Thank you. And I also want to acknowledge our staff and my colleague, Councilmember wanted to it. So it has been a labor of love to watch this happen. This has been a vacant lot for a really long time. Tina was reminding us that she said decades ago the idea probably has come to multiple city councils. And to think that this is what was worth waiting for is really, it's very heartwarming, and it really, I think, touches all of us. Jessica, you said you will promise to uphold your commitment. I don't worry about that at all. I think it's actually built in your name, sort of upholding the promise and uplifting the residents, and I think that is the beauty of your work, so I'm not at all worried about that. I would like to offer in your list of outcomes, if I could edit that for you. I'm sort of annoying in that way. I'd like to add an outcome that the residents that you are privileged to serve and that we are privileged to have as our neighbors will engage in our community. They will thrive, they will be safe, they will be welcome, and they will find ways to give back to this community that is now there. So I just would add one outcome to you as you talk about that. So to the team at Upholdings and Self-Help and DPH and the County Board of Supervisors and all that made this possible, thank you. Clovis is really privileged to have this in our community, long awaited. And mostly to our new friends and neighbors, welcome to our community. We want you to be safe here. We want you to thrive. We want you to do well. Opportunities are available to all of us that live here. So thank you for the chance to have this, the first in Clovis. We hope not the last. Thank you so much.
projects are kind of complicated to finance. We often call them lasagna financing because of the numerous layers. I'm glad some people haven't heard me say that 50 times. So I appreciate all the people that work really hard to get the money and get the legal right. There's a lot of behind the scenes work. It used to be that it took binders this thick. Now it's all online, so we don't have quite the same, marker of how much work it takes behind the scenes. But the driving forces behind this program is the tax credit program, like I talked about. We've partnered many, many times with a group called Enterprise Community Investment across the country, and they are our investor on this project. And then this time we worked with US Bank as our construction lender, and I gotta say, it's been smooth, so kudos to your teams. So with that, I wanna introduce Brandon from Enterprise, and then we'll hear from Susan with US Bank.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Brandon McCall again from Enterprise Community Investment. I want to start by first acknowledging the residents, and I want to share that obviously everyone knows homelessness is up across the region, across the state. I want to give an acknowledgement and say that the cure to homelessness is a home. So I really want to acknowledge the residents. I want them to take this as their home. I will say it's a beautiful place just looking around, and I hope this becomes a home that they're proud of. Going from there, I will talk a little bit about the project and Enterprise. So we're a 40-year organization. We tackle affordable housing. We're founded by Jim Rouse. We tackle it from the capital, development, technical assistance, and also just capacity building angles. So really coming across the board. We're proud on this project, as Jessica mentioned, to provide about $15 million of tax credit equity and also pre-development loans for our loan fund. And then I will do some few thank yous, because there's a lot of people involved in this. So, like I said, we're tax credit side, so we did our part. US Bank did their part. There was obviously a lot of support from the city and county, so big thank you to all of them. And again, it takes a big team. So outside of that is also the architect. I want to give acknowledgement to them, and the GC, the general contractor. So it really does take a big team. And then final acknowledgement to the co-developers, Upholdings, and Self-Help for all the work that they did. And then I'll end with a funny story. Ryan knows I was overseeing the equity infusion of this in the beginning, and there were a few color options. One of which was, the butterfly behind us, purple. Another one was orange, so there were lots of options. But driving up today, I'm proud to see this color blue. I'm, like I said, involved early on. Try not to shut any ideas down, but purple was definitely out there. So definitely glad to see this blue, glad to see the project, and hope that the residents can feel at home. So thank you again.
I'm AVP and Senior Asset Manager with US Bank Corp. We are the Community Investment and Lending Tax Credit Division of US Bank. And I'm very excited to be here today. And I hope you can hear me because I'm on the shorter side. We're gonna just break that, aren't we? But before I continue, I would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territories of the, I'm sorry, I apologize in advance, the Yokut peoples. So I appreciate and acknowledge them. US Bank believes that everyone deserves an opportunity to achieve financial stability, and we know that that's hard to do without an affordable housing in a thriving community, with access to supportive services. That's why we're incredibly proud to be a part of this project as a construction lender, helping address homelessness and providing 75 units of supportive housing. As already mentioned, relationships are important to our physical and mental well-being. These can be strengthened in communities like Butterfly Gardens, a place to foster a connection and find the support that's needed for the residents to be successful. For that reason, we would like to thank Self-Help Enterprises for introducing us to Upholdings. We're happy to partner with Upholdings and support their commitment to working with the most vulnerable community members to create spaces like this, the first permanent supportive housing in Clovis. And I know I'm like the 5th person to say that, but you guys, this is the first supportive housing in Clovis. So I did get a little bit of now, while we've completed several projects with Self-Help, this is our first time working with Upholdings. However, it's been very easy to see that they have a strong commitment to this community and the communities that they work in. And we look forward to being involved with them in future developments like Butterfly Gardens. Congratulations and thank you for all the great work you're doing. We're proud to be your partner.
All right, we're approaching the end. I'm going to do a few things and then we're going to hear from one of the very first residents that's actually already moved in here. But first I have to go through some names we haven't yet crossed, and this is where I really hope I've caught all of you because it's epic how many people it takes to get this done. I have to thank the Fresno Housing Authority. I'm not sure if anyone was able to be here, but they partnered with us through rental assistance for every unit here, and that's critical. They do immense development work and have totally changed affordable housing in Fresno, and we were really thankful and honored that they partnered with us. I have to thank the Fresno Madera Continuum of Care. So some of the partners I can think of that I have seen emails from in the past 5 days that we're working with people to get them here include Potterello House, Turning Point, RH Community Builders, Elevate Services, Mental Health Systems, probably more if anybody wants to shout out another one, but there's a lot of organizations that work under Sonia's direction, and we just all work hand in hand to solve this problem, and it takes a lot of agencies working together. I have to thank Vincent and Gavin, our champions under Susan at the Department of Behavioral Health, Exodus Recovery, as I mentioned, R.L. Davidson, our wonderful architect, Sonia with Cora, who is our designer, BJ Perch Construction. I see Isaiah, who is our chief get-it-done guy in the back, who solved all the problems all the time. Gateway Engineering. I don't know what engineers do, but thank goodness we have them. I'd like to thank GSF. They're our compliance agent, making sure that every file is perfect every time. I have to thank the San Joaquin Valley Quilters Guild. You see some of the quilts on the walls. They donated over 75 quilts made individually for this development. When they heard about, they approached me after the groundbreaking and donated their time. All of these amazing men and women that quilt and wanted to give these gifts to people. I have to thank my father, Calvin Hoff, an artist at Scraps Collage, who donated this beautiful piece. It's torn magazine pieces, so when you get a chance, get your binoculars and look up close. It's kind of like Where's Waldo, and so I'm so thankful for his commitment to me and to this development. Willow Mennonite Church is just down the street, and as soon as they heard about us, they approached us and said, we want to welcome these people into this community, and they've been a great partner. I have to thank NAMI Fresno and Kingsview Behavioral Health. When I first moved back to Fresno to bring this career that I had started, I met with those groups, and we started brainstorming what it could look like here in Fresno. Ivy Public Relations, my wonderful PR consultants in the back. Who else? Gotta make sure I get my whole list. Cup of Joy, as I mentioned, they not only donated the copy today, but did a drive for us, helped gather donations for these residents, and just shouted from the rooftops that they wanted to welcome people. And they've started a foundation. They're so much more than coffee. I love them. And they have a new one by my house, which is great. And then, most of all, I have to thank my amazing staff. Almost everyone is here. We have staff all across the country, and most of them are here today, which I'm so thankful for. But specifically assigned to this project since day one, Ryan Wilson, my project manager, Sarah Ritten, the coordinator. Hold on, there's a lot of them. Jeremy Matthews here is our regional manager here in the Valley. Dejan in the back is our property manager. Teresa is hiding in the corner. She's our partnerships manager. Raymond is our maintenance guy, and Augustin is our community builder. And that's just the staff from our team that are working directly here on site. And they work really hard to do everything and get the results that we're seeing every day. So everyone from up, wave your hands. They are the best. We've had some pretty epic growth in the past few years with the influx of programs at the state level, and they've bent over backwards to make sure we are delivering housing every time, all the time. So I couldn't do anything without all of them. So with that, I'm going to introduce my new friend, Precious. Precious was one of the very first people approved to live here at Butterfly Gardens. She's going to tell us a little bit about her story, and then we're going to give her her keys. Again, she already lives here. We're going to give her the keys and let her enjoy this as her home from here on out. She's nervous, so let's all give her a huge round of applause.
Hello, my name is Precious Madden. I was born and raised in Fresno, California. On October 31st, I moved into Butterfly Gardens Apartments. Before, I was house to house, family and friends of family. It was hard to find an apartment, and I was on the Section 8 list for 11 years. Since getting my keys, I've been attending exit recovery for helping my anxiety and coping skills. And my hope at Butterfly Garden is to flourish, grow, and to be happy and grow as a community. My goal for myself is to go back to school to be a medical builder and to become a peer support activist to help others. I really appreciate it and thank you.
I was so excited to meet Precious this morning. She's got an amazing story that's brought her to this moment, and I'm so thankful you're here. Okay, I have some reminders to give you all, and then we're going to get to the fun part with the big ribbon and the big scissors. Please enjoy the coffee and the treats. When we're done with this, we're going to actually join in the courtyard for the ribbon cutting ceremony. After that, I encourage you to find my team members who will be waving, and they will be actually providing tours. Please keep in mind this is people's homes now. It's not just a development anymore, and so obviously not all units are open. But please ask questions. All the staff that will be guiding tours know the ins and outs of supportive housing and what we've done here. Please take all of the beautiful swag we've gotten for today. We have some mugs and some notepads and some tea towels, which is a fun new one. So take it and use it as a way to tell people that come over that supportive housing works. Upstairs, we're going to have a demonstration in our fitness room, so make your way up there. And restrooms are on every floor if you need them. Thank you again for being here. Please join us outside. We will cut the ribbon and officially welcome everyone to Butterfly Gardens.